Hello everyone, welcome back to the John Owen Movie Channel, all things movies, all the time. And today's video is going to be Ultimate Star Wars Video Part 3. Now, I've done 2 videos so far on this, and so I'm not going to, it's the exact same structure, good, bad, overall, yada yada yada. So I'm not going to go over that in more detail than I already have, but okay, whatever. So let's get right into it. So today, part 3 is about the original trilogy. So let's just start off with the good. Let's not waste any time. The good. Um, what hasn't been said about these 3 movies? From start to finish, this is how you do a trilogy. It's the perfect trilogy. Each story works on their own and collectively and together. And, this is pretty much, this set the standard. This, I wasn't alive when this happened, but talked to a lot of people, and basically this was like the world's biggest phenomenon ever. And it just took movies to a whole nother level that they hadn't been at before, ever. And I think that, yes.
Sorry.
Andy always walks in. Oh, I'm just talking to myself. Duh. She's dumb. Whatever. Back to what I was saying. So, and I think the biggest thing that makes these movies great is just how character-driven these movies are. I think Star Wars movies tried to copy what I've coined it as the hero triangle that the original trilogy had between Luke and Leia and Han. Just these 3 work at their best together. They work amazingly by themselves, but just the way they can play off of each other and how different their personalities are and just everything. They drive the story, and that's what you want out of your big 3 almost. And out of all of the Star Wars inspiration that the MCU took, they definitely took to heart the most the hero triangle that, between Iron Man and Cap and Thor. That came directly from Luke and Han and Leia. I guarantee it. I don't think they'll ever admit that or come out and publicly say that, but I know that for facts. They really remind me of Luke and Leia and Han. And all of the characters between these 3 movies serve a specific purpose in the story, and they all add to it. None of them take it away. None of them make it a negative. Obviously our main protagonist is Luke, and our main character, and he's just amazing. I've talked about how much I love Luke Skywalker before and whatnot. You have Leia, who is strong and graceful, and she's a baddie too. She's awesome. And Han is charismatic and gutsy, and our main characters, and we have our side-ish characters. No one's really a side character. They all play a major part. Yoda, love Puppy Yoda. Obi-Wan, Old Ben, Lando, Boba Fett, Jabba the Hutt, CP3O, RTD2, the Emperor. Oh shit, wrong side. Darth Vader. I don't have a picture civic of him. I don't know why. That probably wasn't smart, but whatever. I got plenty of pictures of him later down the road. Just every single character in these 3 movies are well written. You have an interest in all of them. And when you have great characters, then you can have great moments. Luke blowing up the Death Star. Luke on Bespin when he has to fight Darth Vader, and then the hugest plot twist ever in cinematic history at that point. No, Luke, I am your father. And that's probably the most basic piece of movie knowledge ever. Even if you've never seen a Star Wars movie, you know that Darth Vader is Luke's father. You may not know anything else about any of the other movies, but you know that. Because Star Wars is such a big deal. Luke's training on Dagobah with Yoda. Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader, Luke versus Darth Vader the first time, Luke versus Darth Vader the second time. This is on Bespin. Then he tells that I'm your father. This is whenever they fight each other above Endor, and then they defeat the Emperor, and the character dynamics between Han and Leia and Chewbacca and C-3PO. When they're flying around or whatever. Millennium Falcon's iconic. Side note: Han and Chewie are amazing together. Really love Chewbacca. Really love Han Solo, man. Han and Leia, Luke and Leia, just all of these dynamics and moments just create a great story, and it's executed perfectly. And just Han Solo, man, like that's my guy. Like I've grown to love Han Solo more and more and more as we've gone on throughout the years. The bads, these are like tiny, 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 tiny nitpicks. The dialogue is not like out of this world extraordinary. It's kind of cheesy. It's kind of like way milder version of kind of what with Anakin in the prequel trilogy. But I'll that's like very, very small. And Luke and Leia, their romantic relationship was weird as hell looking back. Like in retrospect, like watching these movies, knowing that they're brother and sister is, yeah, that's weird. That's probably the most bad thing I have to say, but that's super small. So overall, I mean, these movies are the GOAT, straight up. Just there's no more else I need to say. I mean, like I always said, top to bottom, start to finish, 1 to 3, just you can't get any better than this, and that's just facts. Oh, now the rankings. This is really hard for me to decipher because I mean I'm really, 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 really splitting hairs right here because they're all so good that any one of them could be one that they'd be totally justified. But for me personally, at number 3 we have Return of the Jedi, and um, this movie. I don't know. I don't know why people hate this movie so much. Like people, like when this movie came out, they said it. Like a lot of people said it sucked. I was like, how? Why? Why did you think that? Like, that doesn't even make sense to me. I mean, this movie perfectly encapsulate. I mean, this movie is a perfect ending. Just like hits the mark. Even as much as I loved Avengers Endgame, I don't think it was the perfect ending for the entire Infinity Saga. I don't believe it was absolutely perfect. Return of the Jedi was a perfect ending. It was a perfect ending for just the original trilogy, and it was a perfect ending for if you count for the prequels too. I mean, it was. I mean, it worked so good. It was the perfect closing to a whole nother prequel trilogy. That's insane. And number 2, we have the original Star Wars, and I don't. I always find that I really like the first one, like a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. I tend to not. Well, that's not true. Like my favorite out of the 3 Spider-Man, like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, is the first one. That's by far my favorite. It's not the best one, but it is my favorite. And I don't know. It's just like this was a great standalone movie by itself, but it still left the door open for more story to be told. Because George Lucas has touched up on this, the director. He said, like, when he made Star Wars, like, he thought that he was only going to make this one movie and then he was going to be done. And then it blew up. So he's told a self-contained story that ended up being open enough to where he could keep going. And, this is just a great Kickstarter. And, Obi-Wan's great. And, you get the Luke blowing up the Death Star. And get your intro to all these characters that have become, some of the biggest icons in culture today, period. And then finally we have, and excuse me before I move on. And this movie kicked it off. And, you got to give credit where credit is due. And lastly, we have Empire Strikes Back. This this is probably the best sequel of all time. And sequels usually are not very good. There are a lot more terrible sequels than there are good sequels. But this one takes everything that the first one built and made it better. And I can't pinpoint one exact thing that what makes this movie so good. It's just almost like the aura around it. I don't know. You just like the vibe this movie gives off is just insane. And it's something that myself and a lot of people connect with so much. I mean, this one's probably universally been described as the best Star Wars movie of all time. And it is. I mean, I just love Empire Strikes Back. But overall, all three of these movies are so great, and you should watch them if you have not seen them. So that's the end of my Ultimate Star Wars video part 3. Thank you for watching my video. Please come back again. See you next time.